Hi, welcome to Watcher DM. I'm Gabriel, and today I am doing a quick flip through and review of Hedge Witch by Justin Vandermeer, a Canadian creator. I got turned on to this game at the Composed Dream Games booth. They're a distributor for Canadian RPG products and UK RPG products, and some dear friends of mine. So it was really sweet to be able to pick this up. I actually got it for my partner because she witchy though, and so we played it yesterday and we had a lot of fun. These are our little characters. So we had Twinkle and Bumpus. I played Bumpus. And yeah, little character sheets that we printed out from inside. But let's get into the product here. So, Hedge Witch is ostensibly a solo RPG, although it can be played multiplayer, as we did yesterday. You start with a relatively straightforward character sheet. I want to say it kind of feels almost like a Lasers and Feelings hack, in that there is a two-skill kind of split between clever and brave skills. Now, that's pretty much where the similarities end, in that your skills don't become better if the other one is worse, etc. You do start with 6 points to distribute, and then you get what are these things are called wild points that you can use magical solutions for the different challenges, up to 6 before you need a reset, and then otherwise you can spend wild points to improve skills up to a certain amount as well. Pretty straightforward game. And then basically what you're doing is you're going through the events from a deck of cards, and as you fail to address those challenges, the effects of those events kind of stick around in the world, so the world becomes more chaotic and dangerous for your characters as you go through until you start to resolve them, and that is handled through the jokers. So the first time you draw a joker, the tenor of the game shifts to another type of thing, and then on the second joker the game is kind of wrapped up. So yeah, you've got your skills. You've got clever and brave skills. You can apply them to different challenges. Usually clever challenges are the ones that take a little time and planning. Brave challenges are the ones you just kind of dive into, and then you can use magic to kind of resolve any challenge, but it costs a wild point to do so, and you don't get any of the benefits of that. So you earn wild points by defeating tough challenges. You get 1 wild point, or for hard rated challenges, you get 2, and that's if you use skill to defeat them. One thing Alicia pointed out, and I think it's a good call out, is the addition of kind of important rules across the bottom of the page here actually makes it a little bit noodly. It's unclear. Most of the stuff could have been on another page. They probably didn't have room for another page, but I think with a little bit of thought and effort, probably could have figured out a better place to put all of these intentional kind of rules bits throughout the document in a place that is more succinct and accessible, so you can go to a single place to find them. That said, the rules are really, really light, so it was not difficult to keep them all in mind once we knew them. And yeah, character creation is really straightforward. It takes 6 points, split them there. I think you can have at most 4 in either brave or clever when you start. And make a portrait, name, and pronouns. Easy peasy. This describes how you play. So difficulty ratings for the different challenges are easy, tough, and hard. So 6, 9, and 12 points. You're rolling a d6 and adding your skill. So basically, let's say you have a 4 in brave when you start. A tough challenge would require a roll of 5 or 6 on the die to beat, which is very difficult. So you will be failing most of your challenges out the gate that are in the tough to hard category. In the tough category. Hard category, you will fail basically constantly at the beginning. And that's okay, because you're going to put your failures in the opportunities for growth column here. And there's a mechanism for kind of coming back and dealing with them. But I think it's important that they've set this up so that the events of the beginning of the game set up a chaotic world with lots of challenges that you kind of want to solve and little prompts to help you get, improving the world, like repairing it from your early failures, which I think is a cool idea. You start with the Seeking Starlight section here, which is just a little bit of narrative that talks about your teacher having gone missing, and you're going to help kind of get the forest back in, get it ready for her return. Don't know when she's returning. Is a little bit of unclear messaging there, but it's fine. It's a kind of corny little narrative. It's great. And then you've got your tables of these are the card prompts. And so you can see basically 1 through 5, or 2 through 5 is easy, 6 through 10 is tough, and then your Jack through Ace are hard. And there's some unique things going on here. So for the most part, these don't really have that big of an impact. So the easies basically are just narrative bits. The tough ones don't usually, I don't think they have any impact on the game mechanics, but basically all of the hard ones will. So when you draw a hard one and fail it in the first half of the game, it says things like, once this is successfully resolved, add 1 point to one of your skills, or until this is successfully resolved, reduce your clever skill by 1 point. Now, in solo play, I can see it's very easy to implement that. I think in multiplayer, like we were playing together, it was unclear if that was supposed to apply to all of us or just one of us. So we just had it apply to one of us. And yeah, that's kind of where that is. Another thing that was a little bit tricky is noting what effects were in play after a failure, because they kind of stick around, right? So you've got a reduced clever skill or like until this successfully resolves, all actions taken during the night must use the clever skill. So these kinds of effects, it was a little bit unclear where we were supposed to track those and how to track them. I'm pretty sure we lost track of some of them at one point because we had a lot going. But it's just kind of a clever idea. Also, I want to call out that some of the prompts, it's a little unclear what the actual problem is. And whatever. Like it's a solo game, so we had fun just kind of making up whatever we wanted the problem to be. But for instance, a cranky snapping turtle has become a one-man army defending the waters of the woods. It's a big job, and the travel time between the river and ponds is exhausting. So what's the challenge there, right? Is it helping him go around and be a one-man army? Is it stopping him? Like, it's unclear. You have to interpret it, and so maybe that's part of the fun of the game. But just one of the things about this game that we noticed. There is also a little bit of ambiguity, like if a lingering effect from 2 cards would cancel each other out, you are intended to choose the most interesting option, which in most cases meant kind of nothing, because it is unclear which is more interesting, things happening at night or things happening only during the day, and things like that. So not necessarily super useful guidance. But so you got another set for the spades, and then for the diamonds here. I love the little art bits in this book. And then you finish off with clubs. And just from a layout perspective, I want to call out that the green here is not amazing contrast. Actually would have inverted this border green with the interior green for the most part, since the dark text really would leap off the color better. So for those of us with slightly weaker eyesight, maybe a consideration for future products. And then you draw your first joker. So you face your failures, and basically from this moment on, you get the opportunity to go back into your pile of opportunities for growth and retry those challenges. And when you retry and fail again, you can add a point to skill up to a maximum of 4. So let's say you even Stevened your skills, or 3 and 3. During this phase, you could very, very easily get to a place where you've got a 7/7 skill. Now you're probably going to have some failure states that are going to reduce those values, but just imagining that you've got a 6 or a 7 in your skills by the time you're kind of closing in on endgame, you're looking at, needing to roll basically still a 5 or 6 on the dice to get through a hard. So the hard things are still very difficult to clear. But once you're maxed on this, you can you roll 2 dice and you take the highest. So it's like rolling with advantage. And then the other thing I want to call out here is that at this point, it actually is a good idea to start knocking out the tough challenges, because you can spend wild points to buy additional skills. I will say it pretty much doesn't really ever benefit you to use magic to solve the challenges unless you don't want to deal with a negative interaction from a hard challenge, or if you want to get the benefit from defeating a hard challenge. So in the case of Jacks, I think for the most part they all allow you to add 1 point to a skill. Well, maybe not all of them. Yeah. But many of them do reduce your skill, so if you wanted to improve your skill, you might use magic to resolve it. And so, yeah, so then you go through the second phase where you're knocking out things and also continuing to resolve cards and events as you go through. And then when you draw the second card, you do the game over cycle, which is just counting up a bunch of values, and you go to the ending that most appropriately applies to your score. And so you've got the Wise Witch, the Bold Witch, and the Gold Star endings. And then if you don't really achieve very much, you go to the Fade to Mundane ending. Yeah, that is pretty much the whole game. I think once you, if you get to some point in the game and you have used all 6 of your spells, so the little slots at the bottom here of your character sheet are cards for using magic solutions. If those are full, you can get the Flame and Flood Last Drop, and this is like a way to kind of replenish your depleted magic. And it can only be performed when your magic is completely depleted. It comes with a little Starlight Forest map at the back here, which is all the different locations kind of represented in the text of the book. And Little Witch, Big Dreams. You are a hedge witch. You live in a little cottage in the woods, spend your days looking after the forest. Sometimes you have to do tough things the old-fashioned way. There's a lot of work to be done, and you only have a little bit of magic. Scrape your knees and get back up in this cozy little game about hard-learned lessons and failing forward. So, yeah, nice, fun little book. I will say, Alicia and I play a lot of games together, and so it was very enjoyable to spend time together exploring this cute little world. And I think it's a call out to everybody out there who maybe plays the bigger games and does the big thing with big friends. It's okay to like chill out and do kind of a small thing with small friends and try some indie stuff. There's some value to be found in something, even if it's got some rough edges or it doesn't feel necessarily fully polished and complete. It's still a good product to check out and enjoy time with your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, I hope you will hit the like button. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when new ones come out. Also, if you want to get early access to these videos and my randomizer videos, currently on the Tome of World Building, you can go to my Patreon, and all paid tiers get access to all the videos 1 week early. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one.